Black history is a rich tapestry of stories, struggles, and triumphs that have shaped the world we live in today. However, throughout history, there has been a deliberate erasure of this vital narrative from textbooks and educational curricula. The suppression of Black history has perpetuated ignorance and perpetuated systemic racism. In this video, we will explore the reasons behind the intentional erasure of Black history, the consequences it has had on society, and the importance of reclaiming and celebrating Black history. Before we get into the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so as not to miss our fascinating content. The erasure of Black history can be traced back to the period of slavery. Slavery was a dehumanizing institution that sought to strip enslaved Africans of their culture, heritage, and identity. Slaves were forbidden from learning to read or write, making it nearly impossible for them to document their history. Slave owners deliberately suppressed any narratives that showcased the strength, resilience, and contributions of enslaved Africans. Even after the abolition of slavery, systemic racism persisted within educational institutions. Textbooks and educational materials were primarily written from a white perspective, ignoring or downplaying the contributions and achievements of Black individuals. This systemic erasure perpetuated stereotypes, reinforced racial biases, and hindered the understanding of the true extent of Black history. The erasure of Black history has resulted in a significant cultural disconnection for Black individuals. Without a thorough understanding of their history, Black individuals may struggle to fully embrace their identity and find their place in society. This disconnection can lead to feelings of alienation, low self-esteem, and a lack of pride in one's heritage. The deliberate erasure of Black history has had far-reaching consequences on society, perpetuating ignorance, inequality, and cultural disconnection. We must address this historical injustice by actively promoting the rediscovery and celebration of Black history. By acknowledging and amplifying the contributions and achievements of Black individuals, we can create a more inclusive and equitable society. Let us embark on this journey of uncovering the truth, embracing diversity, and celebrating Black history. There are a number of examples of how Black history has been erased in books. For example, many textbooks used in American schools do not adequately cover the history of slavery or the civil rights movement. Black people are often portrayed as victims or criminals, rather than as complex individuals who have made significant contributions to society. In some cases, Black history has been deliberately distorted or misrepresented in books. For example, some textbooks have whitewashed the history of slavery by claiming that enslaved people were treated well or that they were happy with their lot in life. Other textbooks have minimized the role of Black people in the civil rights movement or have blamed Black people for the violence that occurred during that time. The erasure of Black history in books is a serious problem that has had a negative impact on Black people and on all people. It is important to be aware of this problem and to work to ensure that Black history is accurately and comprehensively taught in schools and that it is represented in all types of books. The erasure of Black history in books has had several negative consequences. For Black people, it has meant that they have been denied the opportunity to learn about their history and culture. This can lead to feelings of inferiority and self-hatred. It can also make it difficult for Black people to understand their place in the world and to fight for their rights. For all people, the erasure of Black history in books has meant that they have been deprived of a full and accurate understanding of the past. This can lead to ignorance and prejudice. It can also make it difficult to understand and address the systemic racism that exists in our society today. Black history is deliberately erased in books to reinforce and perpetuate the myth of white superiority. By denying Black people the opportunity to learn about their history and culture, and by portraying them as inferior and insignificant, white supremacists have justified their oppression and exploitation of Black people. White people have historically held positions of power and privilege in society, and they have benefited from the oppression of Black people. By erasing Black history from the books that children read, white people can perpetuate the myth that their dominance is natural and inevitable. Black history is full of stories of resilience, courage, and achievement. By erasing Black history, white supremacists can prevent Black people from learning about their rich heritage and from developing a strong sense of pride and identity. When Black people are not aware of their history and culture, it is more difficult for them to understand and address the systemic racism that exists in our society today. By erasing Black history, white supremacists can make it easier to maintain the status quo and continue to oppress Black people. The erasure of Black history is a serious problem that needs to be addressed. It is important to support Black authors and publishers and to make sure that Black history is taught accurately and comprehensively in schools. We also need to challenge the stereotypes and misrepresentations of Black people in the media and popular culture. It is important to note, however, that despite these deliberate efforts to erase Black history, it has not been completely eradicated. Thanks to the resilience and determination of Black scholars, activists, and communities, efforts to recover, document, and promote Black history have gained momentum over time. This has resulted in a growing recognition of the significant contributions made by Black individuals throughout history, as well as a more comprehensive understanding of the complex and diverse narratives that shape our shared human experience. Remember, the erasure of Black history in books is not an isolated issue of the past, it has enduring consequences on our present and future. By using our YouTube channel as a platform for change, you can help reshape the narrative and ensure that Black history receives the recognition and reverence it deserves. Together, we can build a more inclusive and just world, where the stories of all people are represented and celebrated. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss our fascinating contents.